Okay, you guys.
Sorry we're late.
Sorry we're late. We were just doing a little gears work.
I gotta eat something. I'll be 2 minutes.
Boy's going to go eat something. So, Lone Ranger for the next 5 minutes, guys. Thanks for joining us. We've missed you. We've missed the live chats. Been a couple of weeks, I think, Matty, since we've done that.
Almost a month.
Almost a month. So yeah, probably since just after the Masters we done that. So yeah, it's been a good 2-3 weeks. So I hope you're all well. Golf season's starting up here in this neck of the woods. So let's just get straight into it. Let's get into it. Your phone popped into like an ad or something. Let's see. All right. Kichi83. So we've got chaps love the show. Epic flash, strikes slightly toe side, produce a nice draw. Started to play the weight in the toe of the club between centre and toe. I think that makes strikes more solid. It absolutely does. When you influence CG location like that with these movable weights, I've got a flash just here. So, you know, if you're going to move strike behind the or move the weight behind the strike point on the toe side, we are definitely going to sense a more solid strike with that. So it's a bit like with the putting, and we always talk about trying to hit it slightly heel side because that's where the centre of the mass is, not the centre of the putter from a symmetrical standpoint, but the centre of the mass is heel side. So that absolutely makes perfect sense.
2 7-iron shots,
Okay. Caleb. I'm thinking of bending TMB irons 2 degrees strong, but I'm a little concerned about how this will change the offset. Is 0.75 ml was something I'll notice. Yeah, you'll see it. I mean, I certainly see it. Anytime I move irons that much, I notice that offset does change in that sense. Does it look horrible versus where it started? No, I don't think it really looks terribly different, Caleb. But I think you can definitely see it for sure. I'm going to do them. Just so people can see it. If we do it on that, they can't see it. Okay. Now come back up to the start and get some of the earlier ones here, boys. Christian, I see that you got it. There you go. Okay, and what do you think about putting extra weight in a rogue driver and playing at 44.5? Fine. Yeah, absolutely fine. If you wanted to shorten the driver for a little more control, but put extra head weight in there in order to sort of just up the swing weight and obviously the sensation of where the head is, completely fine to do that. Yeah, no issue with doing it. Let's see. I'm going to get a little bit of a sense of what's going on here. So Joe Bailey, I've been playing one length for about 9 months and it's not good. I lost a lot of distance and my 4 and 5 went the same distance, 170 yards. I think, Joe, the general consensus is it's not for everyone. I've heard good stories. I've heard people with, I keep hearing this recurring story about, I had back issues and now when I hit my wedge shots, I no longer have backache at the end of the round. That in itself is a great use of the technology, but for me, and I think we've talked about it on the channel that, realistically, I think it's something that needs a little bit more work. It's a little undercooked for me.
To be mainstream.
To
not be a niche
to be
product.
something for everyone. Yeah, I mean, it's one thing if you're Bryson DeChambeau and you've got a team of technicians who can, get your head weights and all that sort of stuff. I mean, even look at him, in the testing he's done. He changes shafts, he changes grips, all the time, trying to kind of get a little bit more out of the balance. So even for him, it's not something that he fully sticks to the full concept all the time. So yeah,
All right. You were going back to get caught up.
I was just trying to catch some
Sure.
of those there.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, we were messing around with gears. I was ribbon dancing. River dancing. Here we go. Some chatter about the gravity grip. Even wrong. You guys sell many of those?
So a few.
It's just a weight in the bottom of it. Is that all it is?
Yeah.
So it's counterbalancing.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. This is a lot of back and forth, which is good.
Internal chatter.
You got Caleb already.
I've got Caleb.
Okay, how about this one? That's an interesting question.
Any suggestion for fairway wood club that helps with getting the ball up while keeping the spin low? Hit it at flash sub-zero, really enjoyed it, but too low on launch. Yeah, good point, Jason. Difficult thing, obviously, to do is to separate launch and spin. Let me know if you tried. Did you try the 15-degree flash sub-zero? I think that's the one I would really go to in order to try and separate launch and spin. Try and obviously utilize
15 degrees.
a little bit more loft in order to change. So what I would probably do is turn the loft up, flip the weights around, and put the heavy weight forward. I've had some success with that one.
So more loft, but put the CG forward to launch it initially, and then keep the spin down.
Keep the spin down.
Good. Lots of questions about Golf Spy ball testing. Yes, we have started to work on it. So we did Snell, MTBX, and Chromesoft X, little head-to-head with the driver.
Well, I think that was the one that caught a lot of attention. I think there was two things for me. And to be honest, I'll be brutally honest, I have barely looked at the thing. I've kind of scanned it without reading it. I've scanned it.
Yep. It's a lot of data.
So at some point I'll definitely get round to doing it. So I think the big thing was the difference between the Snell golf ball, which didn't surprise me that performed well. I was surprised at what the way the Callaway ball tested. So we thought we would do a little head-to-head test on that one and see kind of if we found the same issues.
Yep.
Which was a fascinating test. So that was one of the first ones we done today. So that was good. And then the other thing I think surprised most people was how good the Pro V1X was for slow swing speeds.
Yeah, so Ronnie had some success. We won't tease or we won't ruin the video, but he had some good success with that Pro V1X in the video today, which you'll see. But that was the best ball that they mentioned for 85 miles an hour. Yeah,
which is about where Ronnie is. I mean, for those of you who caught the videos last week, we were testing a mini driver, TaylorMade Mini with Ronnie, and he's been very curious about golf balls just to see if there's a ball that can further enhance what he's trying to do with his flight. And today we kind of done a club fit and a ball fit sort of with him. It was
a good session.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. I think, the one thing I will say, and I actually I was thinking about it after we finished the ball video today. The one thing I don't know if we gave sort of full credit to was how good of a job Golf Spy done on that one. I know we alluded to it a little bit, but I think Golf Spy done a really, really, really good job compiling something that highlights the value of the golf ball to different players, and
it's a good awareness piece, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, if nothing else, don't just take away from it that you should never overlook the value of the golf ball relative to other components.
That's a good point.
So I think the guy's done a great job, and I hope it isn't portrayed like we're trying to undermine what they done or anything like that. We saw it as such a discrepancy between those two golf balls. We thought that's something worth testing for us. So which is why we done that today.
Tons of questions about that.
Yeah, lots
of buzz. So Joe got a new 410 LST Fairway wood. Just wanted to mention that. So I think we were talking about shafts with him maybe in the last live.
Yeah, Joe and I were both saying we both use
TZ5,
65 M5 in our drivers.
So we got the 75 M5.
Yeah, so interesting, Joe. I'll maybe need to give that one a little run.
Your swing twins?
Yeah.
Very good.
Doppelganger.
That's right. Okay.
Let's go. There was a one question there. Just
KBS?
Yeah.
Okay, so KBS C taper light.
Mm-hmm.
No, you do not sell it in the shop.
We do not. We do not. We are waiting for our SST Pure machine before we bring in our line of KBS products.
Yep.
We had some history with sort of establishing the straightness of the products, and really without having the frequency machine, not the frequency machine, the SST Pure machine, we are not able to establish how perfectly straight those shafts are. So. Purely a quality control standpoint from
performance
TXG.
of them, it's just the builds.
Performance is great, it's just whether they fall out of tolerance at times. That's it. And it's more of that. Nippon, we fully obviously trust. They're renowned for being the best tolerances in the industry. Shimada with their shaft extrusion process is very unique. True Temper, obviously, with Project X Dynamic Gold. So amongst those, you've got a really good range. But we will offer more Aerotech products and more KBS products once we get the Pure machine.
Is that the same company that makes Aerotech?
No,
It's just a separate
separate company, but for the same reason.
Gotcha.
It's a QC thing.
Gotcha. So Alex had sent us a DM about playing at Torrey Pines in August. I don't think you have to bribe us at all, Alex.
It will just be really time.
Depends if we can do it, but we have your contact info. If we can do it, then I can't imagine saying no to Torrey Pines.
Mm-hmm. Interesting question by Austin under there.
Yeah, you must do that sometimes.
How often do you build a backup set? We do it. We definitely do it. Part of our build process and the detail orientated nature of establishing all the head weight, shaft weight, grip weights, frequency, even down to like the ferrule code, who kind of built the set, all that sort of stuff. So we make sure everything's done to the decimal point per gram in order to make that second set as close as we possibly can if someone requires multiple sets. The best one I ever had was we built 8 sets for Tony Robbins. Tony Robbins, 8 sets
for all his different houses,
sent them all around the world, to Fiji, to Florida, down to Jupiter.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
so. Like that's more common. A backup set's more of like a Tour Pro thing. You're talking about like vacation sets, basically.
Yeah,
like
second
making sure you're the
set,
same
third
one.
set,
cottage, Florida, islands.
It's just tough to put them on the private jet,
I know they don't fit. It's too much work. So Jeff's asking me about the Sky Caddy. We did update the firmware, so we tried to test it.
We did.
I think something was set up wrong. So, you know what I was thinking? Maybe I should take it outside. Maybe see if it was an indoor problem. I can hit some on the range and see if it's...
We honestly, we had a hard time with it. We struggled, to be honest. We struggled to get any of the parameters to make sense. To the point where it honestly wasn't going to be a test that we could show you guys.
I assumed something was set up wrong. Like certain things would be okay, but then it would be way off on launch angle or something. So
the one thing that it got us in the ballpark was the distance that it
final distance
it measured. It got, but how it got there was very interesting. Like generally speaking, the spin was way too high.
Yes,
the apex was way too high.
Launch angle was too high.
There was lots of things that for us we were like, unfortunately, that's just too far, too far out.
I think probably the best next step. I can take it with me, try it outside, and then at least we can eliminate one variable because we updated the firmware, but
we did
potentially we did something wrong. But we do appreciate you sending us. We'll keep at it.
Yep.
Do you have any idea when this LST is coming? I know the pictures are out.
On the
G410 LST.
Yeah.
Summer.
They're talking about it being a sort of a. We'll probably see them in here in about a month's time. I would say early June.
Oh, you think so? Okay.
Yeah, that was muted. I think it was June.
It's not too long.
No.
All right. Good question about the TS4. I know you were talking about this today.
Yeah.
Good question. So who's that going to be for, the TS4?
It's the spin killer.
So the lowest spin driver that they're going to offer is TS4.
Absolutely.
So it probably won't suit that many people, in fairness, will it?
No.
A small segment of the market.
One thing I will say is in this year, and we're a little bit kind of deeper into the year, this is about the time where we start to kind of figure all the equipment out that's in the drawers, and we know our go-tos and that sort of thing. But I would say that I'm really seeing a lack of a true spin killer this year. Like
really?
A true spin killer.
You don't think there's anything that's just not even that Mizuno?
No. No, nothing consistently is that, like last year I would say M3 8.5, ability to turn that down a little bit in loft to 6.5 should you need
So
to.
it's just gone.
Spin was gone. You can really, for the guy who's, I mean, honestly, the biggest spin killer of the year for me so far. Mm-hmm. What do you think?
Spin killer of the year, I don't know, Epic Flash Sub-Zero?
What's been the lowest spinning product we've tried? Mini driver, isn't it?
Oh, that's true. Sorry,
so it really has.
It's a trick question.
It is a trick question.
It is.
Honestly, that TaylorMade Mini
the lowest spin driver
has made the biggest impact on cutting spin down. Like if you take that 11.5 head and turn it down to 9.5, I don't know how you'd keep the thing.
Imagine if they made a 9.5. That'd be insane.
No,
maybe they will. It's true because
isn't it?
Ronnie was getting good. Well, I'm not gonna ruin the video, but I couldn't hit it in the air.
You can get it there. 11.5 and you literally couldn't get the thing there.
I looked like a complete idiot. I mean, I'm not high spin anyway, but it was ridiculous. It looked like I was stopping it.
Loft versus CG location again.
It's a big one, yeah.
It's important.
You'll see a lot of stuff about that in Ron's video.
Mm-hmm.
So Brandon is asking, what iron shafts have a similar profile to the Oban CT115, which are over beside Ian's left on the wall?
I actually haven't seen the EI curve of a CT115. I literally wouldn't be able to tell you that.
What was the one you guys had? It's not a 115 in here, is it?
Mm-hmm, we have the 115.
It is.
Yeah, we have the 100 and the 115.
Who have you seen it suiting? Like when you fit someone to them, what kind of a player?
I would say speed-wise, the player generally is around 84 to 87 miles an hour club head speed with a 6-iron.
Okay. It's like your 105 kind of guy with a driver.
General average sort of tempo and load, not something that you're really going to go to if you're heavily loading it. You'd probably go into some more sort of Shimada, some more Project X if you get that type of player. So it's fairly smooth tempo, mid to slightly above average swing speed.
Okay,
that sort of player. Not really looking for more of control than trying to do anything else with the swing.
So like a Project X LZ or something is a similar kind of player. Or like who else would fit?
Maybe like a 5.5 LZ. Maybe something like that.
I'm assuming Brandon's asking a fair question because those O-bands are expensive.
They are very expensive.
So maybe if he had a good experience with them, he just kind of wants to
find
something a little bit more on the planet. Let's take this one really fast. Matthew's asking, how do you determine playing the correct golf ball? A launch monitor.
Testing, yeah.
And a round of golf in the wind, I would say would be very helpful.
Yeah, I would. I like when we do our sort of ball testing. It's kind of wedges or putter, wedges, irons, wood hybrid driver. So working back that way. So yeah.
That's the order of importance, isn't it?
Yeah. But I think establishing your current launch characteristics is be the first starting point, and then. From process of elimination with your fitter, you can really figure out what's going on.
Gotcha. This is a good quick one. I know you can answer. So what is the purpose of offset? When would you use offset?
If you needed increased face rotation.
Okay. Does it affect the height of the ball, or is it?
It can. It can. It is designed to obviously pull the CG back. So yeah.
Is that why that does that? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because I see what you're saying. It's literally moved further away from the hosel, so it physically moves the CG.
Yeah,
that's cool. Yeah. Because it's funny, if it helps you get the face more square, you would think you hit the ball lower, because an open face makes you hit the ball too high.
Yeah, so I mean, you'll probably get the element of more. You probably won't get the height, but you would get more height than you would if it wasn't. If that makes sense.
Yeah,
so you're going to get the face to close, but if there was no offset in a square face versus the face being pulled back, it certainly will hit a little higher.
Makes sense. Okay. I'll tell you what I'm not going to answer right there is that, because that's just going to be too many. Do we have enough time for that? No. From Zachary. That's interesting.
What's going on with
Zachary? Got fit into the Strixon driver. Acro Tour Z. Oh, it was here. That's good. With Mac. So he's looking at a less pricey alternative to the shaft, I'm assuming. I don't think the head is overly expensive. Tour Z 465 is... I've hit that one before, haven't I?
Yeah, I would say I think... I'm pretty sure the Project X Hazardous Black is still part of the lineup with that one.
In terms of a no upcharge shaft, that would be similar?
Yep, something that's pretty stout and it kind of has that more tip-stiff flight tips of profile to help the flight kind of flatten out a little bit.
Fairly heavy, this 465, or not really?
Just similar to PX Black.
65 or so?
65.
That's
But balance point lower, definitely more material in the tip section.
Okay.
More stable.
So hazardous black, Zachary, it's a good one.
Yeah, let me quickly just pull that, just while we're taking the next question, let me pull that up and see
we'll
what's
get the
what.
next I'm going to make sure that I didn't miss one from Adam. Did you take a super chat question from an Adam? I don't want to miss it.
I don't think so.
Boy, is this slow.
Yeah, it's slow.
Wrong?
Same on the side for me.
Adam. You must have. Hate to miss a question.
Why does Adam say that seems harsh?
No, he's talking about there's some banter.
Thanks.
Okay. Adam, if we missed your super chat question before we started, just do us a favor and ask again, and we'll grab it.
Yeah, we'll grab it.
The screen is having a hard time loading.
Yeah. Do you know what? Actually, probably in order. Yeah, you can just scroll to the bottom and we'll try and catch.
Yeah, why don't I do that?
Current ones.
I'll do it on my phone.
Yeah.
My phone.
All right. Let's see. Harold from Vienna. Harold was in to see us from Vienna. How are you, Harold? Nice to hear from you, my friend. G410, Tennessee Orange on drop ice is a monster. Delighted to hear it. Absolutely delighted to hear it. It's a beauty. I don't know where this is, what the relevance of this is, but personal question.
Oh, from
Did
Brock.
either of you two lads go into post-secondary education?
You first.
Yes, in a sense. When I turned pro, kind of out of high school, so turned pro at just literally, 17, turned 18, and then obviously enrolling in the PJ system in the UK. It's a degree that ran through Birmingham University.
Yep.
Same
thing here.
So
Exactly
yeah,
the same.
technically yes, but it was distance learning. We done all our assignments. Were sent to the Belfry in
Oh, really?
England. Yeah, that's
cool.
where we would go every year for our residential. Yeah, it's a good program, a strong program, but I think I think these things are very weighted on the sort of business element of it, which is good. Trying to take golf pros and getting to run a business is ultimately what most of them are going to do.
For sure. Yeah.
But I would say that they could do I'm just being selfish here, but they could do a significantly better job on this side of what we are doing.
It's the same in all of North America.
Yeah,
I went through.
terrible.
I did the same program you did in Canada. It's very limited. It was about 2 hours at the range once. No launch monitor, no nothing. So it's got room to improve, doesn't it?
Yeah, and at some point, some of the. Oops.
That's okay. You just stopped this.
Still going.
Come on, camera. Yeah. It's just a good camera.
At some point,
Come back.
We would like to play a role in that. We'd love to.
Well, there's no one better suited to it than you are, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think it'd be a great thing for us. We would enjoy, being part of the development of club fitting and that sort of thing in the PGA Canada for sure.
Absolutely. You didn't take this from Caleb, did you? Because Caleb's he asked one earlier, but he's
no, not that one. That's another one. Can you check that? Loft on the left-hand G410. Matt hit. I went to order one as close to 9 as possible, and the low sort of thing was 10 degrees.
Digital lofting?
Yeah, you can check the digital lofting. In fact, Caleb, what to do is just get Ping to check it in house. So Ping can act like you
Is that
can.
not what he's trying to do, or
Well,
maybe at the shop.
I went to order one as close to 9 as possible, and the lowest loft they could find me was a 10 degree.
Ping would be able to.
Yeah, Ping, in their factory of full of heads would certainly be able to find something you would think lower than that. Cable, tell us if that's not the case though.
Yeah, let us know what you mean. We can't measure the one that we have. We don't have a digital loft machine for woods.
No,
just for irons.
No, part of the new Swing Lab we will do,
will
but
be coming. Yep.
We currently don't.
I was just trying to see if. No, I can't. Okay.
Trying to still see.
Yeah, that was for Zachary, right?
Yeah.
Timothy's asking about Galvin Green shirts. Yes, I'm wearing Galvin Green shirts now.
Team Galvin.
You can buy Galvin Green shirts on the website if you want, or you can just buy something else, whatever you like. There's nice ones. Ian's shirt right now you can get actually. From the Edge collection.
Yeah, so that's the one I was thinking of.
So Hazardous Black 65, handcrafted for Zachary and his Strixon.
That'd be nice.
Yeah, perfect.
That would be nice. That would be the one.
Order it at 45 inches because he wouldn't have hit 45 and a quarter in the shop.
Yeah. Yeah.
Order is done, Zachary. Let's take this quickly. Joe's asking about face angle, loft versus face angle. Which settings to adjust first? Yeah. We will definitely have a more detailed video about that, Joe. It is on our... We always have a to-do list, but we also have kind of this peripheral list. It's like stuff we really want to do, but there's certain things we want to get data on prior to. We're getting there. I think Chris Vishal's visit was good. He had lots of insight about how those things work, and I think maybe Gears, once we get a little more comfortable with it, the insane amount of data it has may help us if we can ever make sense of it.
Yeah.
Or learn how to use it.
I know. It's
that's why both of our eyes look like
system.
bloodshot. It's working, but it's complicated.
Yeah, it is. It's a lot of different sort of things. So it's not. We're not trying to set ourselves easy challenges either with some of the videos we're doing. So we have the video we started today was basically the influence of headway on shaft deflection or on deflection in general. So we were working with 192 gram headweight, so something nice and light like you've seen us in the past. I think some of the Callaway stuff we saw last year. So
it was around that.
We were using a Cobra F8, and then we took it was two gram weights in there, and then we took same head and we put 212s in there. So we upped the head weight to 210 grams.
That's the one covered in Gears
dots.
You'll see.
Yeah.
So, in a nutshell, there was stuff to talk about, but the user interface of Gears is not like Foresight, and it's tough to make a video right now before we know more about it. So,
when we are rounding up the conclusion on quad, it's so easy for us to show you guys the comparison. Here's ball flight. Here's club delivery. Gears is kind of a little bit more challenging from a comparison standpoint when you're trying to sort of collate the end results.
It's very, very different. It's also more sensitive. I think the nature of the ability of it to actually give millimeter measurements and how shafts are bending. If something is remotely wrong, like if I bump this by accident, then the test has to be redone. Yeah. So we're working on it, though. We're working on it.
Work in progress. Right. Did we get Gary's?
Yes. So Gary's asking about the True Temper Elevate. It has some kind of vibration dampening in it.
VSS.
How effective do you think that is?
Somewhat.
Hard to quantify. Not as much as like, what was the old technology called?
Sensicor. Yeah, and there's lots of different, there's lots of different vibration dampening systems out there.
Yeah.
I think VSS is fine. I mean, we would probably need, some test equipment to truly establish the value of it. I haven't given it to someone and they've went, oh yeah, I don't feel that. Pain in my elbow or wrist.
So not like a shocking difference?
No.
Gotcha.
No, I haven't yet.
A couple people have asked again about the golf spy ball test. Hit rewind or finish the live and go back. We talked about it in the first few minutes. So I just saw Caleb's again. He said he called Ping customer service and they said nothing below a 10 in left-handed.
It's disappointing.
Strange, Caleb. I think you'd find that both of us find that a bit disappointing, isn't it? Well, if he wants a lower lofted ping driver, I guess the LST will be able to get in lower loft.
Yeah, coming soon.
So
very soon.
Lefties get shafted again.
Yeah,
Caleb. It's just another day.
It's bizarre though.
How can you not get a lower loft?
9 degree doesn't
make any sense.
Yeah.
Ping, we don't criticize you very often, but that's no good.
Yeah.
You always do a good job.
I would keep on them about that. I would say there's somewhere in that factory there's a left-handed head. Yeah. Mr. Bubba Watson would have a lot to say about it if there wasn't.
If we hear about anything, we'll know who to tell. Okay. Fit for a M6 driver, Epic Flash 3 wood and 5 wood, which is a little bit better than the M6 frame. That's good. If you had to choose a sponsor for woods. Okay, so if you had to play all the same company's woods this year so far, who would you play?
I think we done this one recently, didn't we?
Yeah, we did full bag.
Full bag. Whose woods would I play? It really depends on where you over-index. So would you would you really gravitate towards? Okay, I like their driver, so I'll put up with
tolerate
that.
the woods?
Yeah, I'd probably do that.
Okay, so who is it then?
I would play off from someone who has done zero testing of 2019 product.
But you've seen
zero. But no, I've not hit it. I've seen it work differently for other people. I think I would love to fit into M5.
Yeah.
I would probably say that would be my preference.
And then M5
I've stunk with tailor-made fairways recently.
it.
I think my preference would be M5 driver, M6 fairway wood with on the rocket, sort of the 14-degree rocket sort of loft.
That's good.
That would be my preference.
That's still the same company. You don't have to pick the same model.
That would be what
You're okay to go with M5. Mine's easy. Ping.
Very easy. For you.
Last year I would have said no way because I did not like the fairways, but the fairway woods are good this year. I'm going to catch us up a little bit. Okay.
Guys, if we miss your questions, don't hesitate to sort of repeat them and kind of add them in again.
And or put them in the comments. We will definitely...
I think it's probably worth us touching on. I mean, I know there's going to be people, I guess, tuning in at different points, and everyone wants to know our thoughts on, obviously, the My Golf Spy ball test. We thought they'd done a great job. We thought it was thorough and comprehensive. There was a few surprises in there. I think the biggest surprise was the difference between the Callaway or the way they portrayed the Callaway ball performance, especially at high speed. That shocked us. The biggest thing for me, and I think we talked about this earlier a little bit, but when you see the golf ball, how if you take the extremes, Snell MTBX, Chrome Soft X, they showed that launch conditions were basically the same.
Yes, launch and spin were within whatever of each other.
Like decimal points apart, 12 degrees and 2200. The discrepancy was on ball speed, which is obviously, the story was soft is slow in terms of compression. So there was, I think, a 2.5 mile an hour discrepancy on ball speed. I still don't understand where that got to an 18-yard gap between the two. So if they're using TrackMan, we probably summarised that it was something environmental through the aerodynamics.
Yep.
But it looked like they were testing with quad because the pictures they showed had quad dots on there. They may have had both.
They may have had both.
And sorry if they say that somewhere. I haven't seen it, but I've only scanned the test rather than went through it with a fine tooth comb. But there was some surprises in there.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And the biggest one was, again, that Snell being 18 yards longer in the air versus Chrome Soft. So if you missed earlier, we did that today. We did that test. You will see that tomorrow. What is today? Monday. You'll see it this week for sure.
Yeah, I think
it's a priority for
definitely. The big thing you and I have talked about though, Matty, is how the awareness they're bringing to golf ball testing and the value of golf ball.
So. Yeah.
I mean, if you guys catch any Golf WRX content from last week, Johnny Wonder and Ryan Brath were at Titleist in Boston, and they were really blown away by the thoroughness of Titleist process and manufacture and tolerance and all that sort of stuff. So I still think that when it comes down to throwing all variables in the mix, from performance, feel, quality control, intellectual property, when it comes to the manufacturing process and stuff, I still think you're going to find some of your best performance in that Acushnet.
You're never going to have a bad performing ball, I wouldn't think. Although the AVX did seem to be a little low on their list. I think we need to test that one too. Because we didn't test it that much. I didn't see anything that would lead me to believe it was a bad performer. But it was fairly low. Zachary just said that he's got the hazardous black in his 3-wood. Yeah. So that's good.
And it was not a winner.
It was not a winner.
Raj.
Well, but to be fair, you don't put the same driver shaft.
It doesn't mean too much, Zachary, to be honest. But we're talking about trying to compare from a stock list what's comparable to TZX.
Less options, right?
It's just challenging to do that.
Gotcha. Oh, I found Adam's.
Perfect.
Yes. Okay, Adam, we found you. Hopefully you're still watching.
Curious.
So performance expectations between a 10.5
Sub-Zero head. With tour adapter lofted to 8.5. Okay, an actual 9-degree head, right? Okay. Obviously, Adam. So what Adam's talking about is the new adapter from Callaway. So what they've done is they've restamped the adapter. So we talked about putting a left-handed adapter into righty head, and it had the opposite effect. So rather than going +2 loft, if you put the lefty adapter in the righty head, that +2 would become -2, right? So what they've done now is basically taken a lefty sleeve and put the cogs on it, so it now says -2 rather than
calling it a tour sleeve, basically.
Calling it a tour sleeve. So yeah, it's good. Gives people the option. What it does, Adam, is obviously it influences the face angle.
Right.
So that golf club they're now setting more open through the loft sleeve.
So that's the effect of it.
Yeah.
So less loft.
You will change the face to path relationship.
More open.
Yeah. In order to you'll change that face to path relationship and therefore change your curvature, your strike point, a bunch of different things. So yeah, it will change it.
Gotcha. Okay, well, we got that. I'm putting this up. If anyone wants to send Tour Edge messages on Instagram on our behalf, if they answer you, then sure, we'll test their stuff. Sent them many messages, and we had
a contact at some point.
Yeah, but they were supposed to send us all that CBX stuff. They never did. Never did. All right, Brandon. Brandon got fit into Titleist AP2s a few weeks ago. Recommended 4 to 9 iron, assuming some Vokeys in there. When I first started playing golf, he stopped at the 5 iron. Now that I'm a decent player, would using a 4 iron kill my game? Okay, it's 10 handicap.
I wouldn't say kill your game.
Yeah.
I would say depending on your ball flight characteristics, if you start to your ball your peak height starts to kind of fall down, if you start to lose speed and your club head speed, or ball speed doesn't kind of progress naturally, that's when kind of gaps start to shrink a little bit.
Gotcha. So it's just not putting enough launch on it, potentially?
You might want to go to something like 5 to 9 iron and maybe do like an 818 H2 or H1 hybrid in there at 21 degrees and go that way.
Because it could be a ball striking thing too. Maybe he gets plenty of launch and spin, but the forgiveness of a 4 iron is not much, is it?
Not much, and also obviously CG location and obviously the how quick the face is.
Right.
Very different construction to a hybrid, so you're going to get much more speed, explosive sort of speed out of the hybrid. That's for sure.
Gotcha. All right, Alex. Okay. Alex has a lob wedge with S400 shaft in it currently. He wants a little more active feel for his partial shots. Makes sense. So going to an R300 versus using a X100 8-iron shaft.
Yeah.
What is the difference there?
So I think what Alex is asking is if he uses an X100 8-iron shaft, so basically soft stepping twice.
So you butt trim it so it plays softer? Is that how it works?
No. So you go an 8-iron shaft, so we leave the longer tip section. So 8-iron shaft obviously has the step.
Oh, sorry, you leave more of the softer part.
Yeah, right. So what Alex is basically asking is, if you use an 8-iron shaft, does it go from like an X100 pitch and wedge to an S300 9-iron to an R300? Okay. So he's basically saying, if he soft step twice, does that take him to an R300? And is the difference only the weight? No, there's a big difference still in the flex and Alex between that. So even if you go down to that X100 8-iron shaft, you're still very much stiffer than an R300 would ever be.
So that makes more sense because he plays S4s. R3 is too soft.
Too soft. Okay. No. X1 would still be too stiff.
Oh, still be too stiff. Okay. Okay. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry. There's a lot of numbers in there. There's a lot going on. Okay. Willie is asking about his driving iron or hybrid based on him using an Acura TZ6 M4 in his fairway.
Yeah. Could you please recommend a starting point for shaft to test with a hybrid and driving iron? TZ6.
Yeah, they make a hybrid one.
They make a hybrid.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, if you are looking for that, I would say that'd be a decent enough option. Similar one, maybe Fujikura Pro 2.0, especially in the hybrid. It's a nice little hybrid shaft. Really, they do that in like a 75 stiff if you're playing 65 in the hybrid. The fairway wood currently. So, we normally progress those by 10 grams at a time.
Joe was saying that
They
golf spy
used
used TrackMan.
TrackMan.
So that definitely.
Curious why they use TrackMan if they've been so adamant about the value of quad and
quad
camera.
guys, yeah.
You know, you can go back in my golf spy over the years, and you can obviously maybe it was just the facility they were at.
Would it be then? Could they put it on that normalized setting that gets rid of wind effect?
They could, and probably
they would have to.
Well,
right?
I mean, maybe they don't want to because obviously aerodynamics is a big part of ball technology.
But you can't make 18 yards of difference in aerodynamics with no wind.
That's the thing, like gust of wind, no gust of wind.
Yeah. Okay, we're gonna find out more about that, but that puts some light on it, Joe. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Joe.
That explains
as always.
As always, yep. Drake, where's your question, Drake? Drake is asking. Graphite Design VR is one you know, I'm sure.
Never worked with it.
Is that new?
It's a new one.
Yeah, gotcha.
We actually have it on the way.
So he's struggling with low spin with that shaft.
Don't worry about the shaft.
Yeah, so it's the head.
You're playing the wrong head if that's the case.
So M5 is already lofted up at 10.5. So it's just he needs a higher spin head.
Yeah. Something to look at would be a head perhaps like I'd say probably F9 would be a fantastic addition.
A little bit higher spin. Yeah.
So you probably pick up a little bit. I've seen F9 be a bit quicker than M5 so far this year.
Is that right?
And it spins a little bit more. So on the balancing act of speed and spin, it sounds like you could definitely benefit from F9.
We get this a fair amount. We still need to do this video. We should still do like older clubs or like secondhand or used market clubs. You buy something and then try to like what's it called? Retrofit it?
Yeah, I'd love to do a 710 AP2 versus 718 AP2 test, like the oldest versus the current. I would love to do that.
I have the originals in my garage.
Next week.
So you can take the head off.
Yeah. Pop a connector on and
I have the. Yeah.
Let's do that.
They're older than 710. The first ones weren't even called anything.
So they were 710.
Is that what they called them?
Yeah, first edition were 710.
Okay. Well, whatever the first ones are, I have them.
Yep.
I have those. They're in my garage collecting dust as we speak. That's a good question. So the 410 SFT driver, does that exist? Or is it just the Plus with the weights?
Yeah, no, they have it.
They do, okay. So do you think that with the movable weight now, is it more draw bias than you could get the G400 version?
Yes.
Because you can move the weight over.
Yeah. And then the weight was in there in the last one, but yeah, they have made that a little bit more draw biased. Excellent head.
Okay, Sean has a question. Sean's asking. So would you put the same steel shafts you play in your irons into a hybrid?
No.
Almost never, right?
Almost never.
Yeah. Tour players don't use steel in hybrids. I don't think there's any that I've ever seen.
No.
So even the strongest, fastest players don't use steel in a hybrid. So Sean, unless you're playing, you're playing steel. Yeah, look for a graphite shaft, I think.
Yeah. So generally speaking, as well, the tip size in most hybrids is 370. Most obviously iron shafts is 355. Most from a taper tip perspective. Some parallels obviously at 370.
Gotcha.
How accurate? I've seen that one appear a bunch of times from Jared. I think he wants to know how accurate are numbers from the full swing simulator. I've never been in one. I've never tested one. Unfortunately, I could not tell. I've worked with HD golf.
I've been in an about golf simulator.
Yeah.
I've never been in a full swing simulator. So this is interesting. So Zachary's saying, I know why we keep coming back to this ball test, but they're saying they tested it in low wind and they redid shots that seem to be outliers. Okay.
It still doesn't explain an 18-yard discrepancy when the only thing that is the difference is 2.5 miles an hour ball speed. Your launch and spin is the same. You can do the math on it.
Yeah,
it doesn't make sense. I mean, you're basically saying at that point that the aerodynamics package, if you like, on the Cali ball is very dysfunctional.
Would have to be horrendous. No?
And maybe that's the case, and but I think we would probably have known that by now.
You would, right?
Yeah, a lot of tour players. The tour guys are not going to give up that amount. No. I wouldn't say.
Okay, Gareth is asking. He's coming to Toronto for the first time in a few weeks. Fantastic. Oh, what a good question. He's got time for one round. Where should I go? So he's asking about TPC Toronto, which is the first TPC course in Canada.
Yeah.
Yep. It used to be called Osprey Valley, Gareth. I know you're very, very partial to that place.
Love it.
You can't go wrong there. Depends on the type of golf you want to play, Gareth. If you want to play a little links golf, that's a good one. Eagle's Nest is cool as well. It's very linksy. It's very hard, though. I don't know if you want to get beat up.
Punish yourself.
Other public courses that are very good. Oh, boy. It's tough. Public guys. TBC Toronto is probably your best bet. It is Fairways North, Gareth. That's the only warning I would give you. It's about 45 minutes from here, so it's worth the drive though. Honestly, you'll have a good time. I don't think it would be a disappointment by any means.
Yeah, I don't know too many. To be honest, I don't know too many public courses that are better anywhere than TBC.
It's very good. And now that it is a TBC, I know for sure that their standards are obviously going to be much higher. Right?
Yep.
So, okay, so we kind of need to wrap up in the next 10 minutes, just so everyone knows.
Is there a place I can change my clothes?
Right across the hallway. The ladies is on the right hand side.
Okay. Jason's asking about your favorite fairway woods from the last couple of years and/or this year. My favorites are the new Ping 410 and the Epic Flash. I think
From this year?
Yeah, this year. I'll let you go back years. You like M6 this year too, right? That was another good one.
Yeah. Certainly, M6 is very good for players who could do with getting the ball up in there a little bit easier. I think Ping have done a remarkable job turning that fairway wood around. I think they have a very, very kind of genuinely competitive product now with that 410.
Yep.
Last year, some of the sleepers were like Cobra King Limited was a fantastic field, so
really?
Fast. Oh, so fast.
Oh yeah, you have that, don't you?
Yeah, I've got one here. Really, really quick. That was good.
That's if you're looking on the used market, Jason. That's a good one if you want to pick up a little bit of a deal. Jasper's asking about what we're doing in August in California. Will there be a TXG sessions?
Perhaps.
Perhaps. It's possible.
Likely.
It's likely. In fact, it's something we have to have a meeting about soon. We want to, and we likely will. That's as far as we can go. This is another weird one. So, Golfspy said there's no tour players playing the actual Chrome softball on the shops.
Yeah, Callaway are sort of renowned for having multiple versions of everything they have, like whether it be driver heads. They normally have 3 to 5 heads, even in the same models, different CG locations.
Yep.
That sort of stuff. Not uncommon. Trying to obviously cater, but there's not too many players out there that share the same characteristics and requirements as a tour player.
It's true.
Is
this confirmed true? We don't know.
All we can tell you is that we tested it, and
things happened.
You'll be surprised at the results we had versus the results that the guys got in their tests. You guys will be surprised.
That's plenty. This is a good day to take this question because I can't hit a ball today.
What is your handicap, Matt?
I'm currently a 1. If I keep playing the way I'm playing, I'll be a 12 by next week. But I'm a 1 handicap. Had some good rounds.
Early
6
season
years.
form.
I'm having a bit of a rough go. I'm going to see Larry this week, though, so I'll be fine. I'm a handicap golfer. Caleb is asking about a feature on FlightScope called Acceleration and Speed Profile. Is that something you would find useful?
Yeah. I mean, I've definitely know of people who use it.
Is that literally like one of those graphs that shows you where the thing? Yeah.
Yep. Some people like it for it. I mean, obviously we're going to utilize gears to try and kind of detect acceleration patterns and that sort of thing.
Gotcha. Okay, we've actually caught up. We can take a few more.
Nice.
So guys, we're going to sign off in 4 minutes because it's about to be busy in here. So if you have a question, get it in quick or leave it in the comments or save it for next week. But we got to sign off quite soon. I want to take this though. So we did more with the TaylorMade Mini with Ronnie the Rocket today. You'll get more information about who it's for based on that video. I won't wreck it.
Yeah.
I think it'll become clear to assert it's a very specific type. Well, you kind of alluded to it, the low spin factor.
Low spin. So I'm going to say the person who requires, who maybe comes sort of a bit of an over the top, steep player, I think is going to really benefit from the Mini. 11.5, maybe in a bit of an upright position, short, slightly heavy shaft. If that sounds like you, get out and give that a try.
Gotcha. Take this one quickly. So, Tensi Pro Orange versus the regular Tensi Orange. Obviously, the Tensi Orange regular comes in a lot of things stock.
Different shaft.
It's a very different shaft.
Not even the same materials in there. Yeah, the standard one doesn't have the boron in the tip. Completely different torque. And
he's a fast player and normally plays X-Flights. So it's not that it could fit you, but it probably doesn't if you're a fast swinger. Right?
Yeah, the curse of the fast player is generally the more exotic products work better for you guys.
Gotcha. Let's take one more. Let's take one more. Peter got his first hole-in-one yesterday.
Congrats, Peter. That's awesome. Well done.
That's exciting.
Very cool. Very, very cool.
Very exciting. Gears photos, Steve-O.
Lots,
take
lots
a photo
of
you.
stuff
It's coming. It's coming, but we're working on it. Okay, we're going to take Joshua's question, then we're going to sign off. Joshua is asking, in your opinion, how does the weight and EI profile of a shaft affect swing characteristics? Okay, we'll start with weight. Start with weight. How does the weight affect someone's swing characteristics?
It will influence your time. It will influence where the club, your reference points for where that club is. I think one thing you will hear and are starting to hear people talk about, especially club fitters, is weight is much more important than flex.
Okay,
that's something that's becoming a much more common sort of admission from fitters, and because that's how we can go through different shafts and different companies, and really the designated flex on the shaft doesn't mean an awful lot.
It doesn't. It's only relative to the same model, right?
Yeah, exactly. And you can take certain stiff shafts of a very stiff or a very tip stiff EI profile, and it might deflect a certain way, and you take a stiff from a completely different EI curve, and they don't overlap at all from a flex perspective. It's it's a bit like Modus 130 and Dynamic Gold shafts completely pulls apart in terms of the EI curve,
but you can get them in the same way.
You can get an X100 and you can get Modus 130, but that Modus 130 has an exceptionally stiff butt section, and that Dynamic Gold has a much softer butt section. Right. So even though they're both X100s, where you're going to feel the shaft load, and it's going to be in a completely different spot.
Good answer. Okay. I'm going to finish with the first time I've ever known something that you didn't know. 710s.
They were Gen 2. There you go.
The only reason I know is that mine don't say 710. That's the only reason I know that.
Interesting. Very interesting. Well, I remember
I'll bring my 6-iron in next week.
I remember seeing them on the road. Oopsie. I was Scottish Open 2000. When did Eduardo Molinari? I'll tell you exactly when it was. It was a memorable week.
When Eduardo won?
Eduardo Molinari wins Scottish Open. If this is 2009, you're absolutely right.
Really quickly, does Club Champion do ball fittings?
Not that I know of.
Matthew, I see your question about placing
Molinari won it in 2010. Still, that was the first time I saw AP2s on the range, because there was a whole thing at the time about Titleists were actually grinding the heads to get the head weight. I think
2010 makes sense, but I think that was just the first model. Regular AP2, and then 710 was the refresh 2 years later, or 1 year later.
But that wouldn't make any sense if that was in 2010 was the first model, because that was the first model that they brought out.
Oh, I see what you're saying. I mean, I suppose we could find out later.
Probably small details.
You just want to be right. That's all it says.
No.
Okay. Good little lot.
Nice to be back.
We're going to try to do this a little bit more frequently, like we have been doing. So apologies, we've been missing in action for a bit.
Essentially, this is like a quickie there.
Ball stuff.
What's up with my golf by destroying the cut golf ball? That's a good question. Because when we've tested it, it's not been horrendous by any means, has it?
Performance, no.
No. I don't think. I mean, guys, what we will say is we're not testing in the same way.
We're not doing durability tests, and we're not doing outdoor tests. So the performance of that ball, I don't know. It seems like it's been okay.
Yeah.
I know that the blue to the new blue was a bit of an odd one. But aside from that, I don't know. I wouldn't throw it out completely based on that, but I don't know. All we can tell you is what we find when we do a test, right?
Yeah.
That's all we can really do.
Absolutely. That's that. Literally
It's session
all
to
we can
session,
do.
right? It's day to day.
100%.
Yeah, we probably, again, it's needless to say we don't go into the detail that they did for the ball test, so we can't necessarily say we would find the same things.
So I think you might be right. I think it was an 08 AP2.
08 was the first year. Yeah, I think that makes
Seems like
sense.
that.
I was cleaning golf carts as the first set of irons I brought. Sounds about right, eh?
Sounds about right.
Well, and on that bombshell, I guess we can end.
We can. Guys, thanks for joining us. Good to be back.
This was awesome.
Short but sweet.
Short but sweet. Short relative to what we do. 55 minutes
I
is
know.
still pretty good.
Yeah, it's true, isn't it?
Joe's saying the consistency across the dozen wasn't good. That's interesting, Joe. That might be something we can do. We can try different balls within a box. To be fair, we usually hit a sleeve when we test. We take a sleeve out and we do that. So
yeah,
fair enough.
I think if you go to the Golf WRX content from, like I say, from that Titleist factory tour, I think the one thing that the guys really pulled was the quality control that you're going to get in a dozen Titleist golf balls is pretty good.
Yeah, you're paying $60 for a reason. It's not it's not a scam. They really do make sure every ball is the same. So if a ball is $20, then maybe they can't do the same thing. To be fair. Okay, cool. A couple new videos this week you'll see. So we will see you guys very soon. Anything to add? You're good?
No, all good.
See you guys
Have
later.
a good week.